Character is built in silence, not when you're being praised, not when you're being watched, but in the quiet, unseen hours when no one's around to applaud or judge. That's where the real work happens. See, anyone can perform when there's an audience. Anyone can act disciplined when someone's holding them accountable. But wisdom, self-mastery, that comes when you're alone, when the cameras are off, when no one's going to pat you on the back for doing the right thing. Today, we're breaking down 7 things wise people do when no one's watching. Habits forged in solitude, grounded in Stoic philosophy, and built to last. 1. They correct themselves before life does. Wise people don't wait for life to humble them. They do it themselves. Alone in the dark, they replay their actions. Where did I lie? Where did I overreact? Who did I dismiss too quickly? They review it all, not to feel guilt, but to sharpen judgment. Epictetus said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize your mind is complicit." That reflection starts when no one's around, not when you're called out, but when you call yourself out. It's uncomfortable. Most avoid it. They drown it out with noise, entertainment, ego. But the wise know, if you don't confront your flaws in private, they'll destroy you in public, so they self-correct, constantly, not out of fear, but discipline, because they'd rather face truth in silence than be embarrassed by it in the spotlight. 2. They rehearse adversity on purpose. When the world is quiet, wise people train their minds to face the worst. Seneca called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, not to live in fear, but to build strength through imagination. They picture failure, betrayal, poverty, death, not to be dark, but to prepare. While others obsess over comfort, they rehearse pain. Because when disaster hits, and it always does, they won't flinch. This isn't pessimism, it's psychological readiness. It's why Marcus Aurelius would remind himself daily, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." So while others binge TV to escape the unknown, the wise stare it down in solitude. They simulate storms, so when the real one comes, they've already walked through it. Calm, controlled, ready. 3. They master the tiny choices. No audience, no reward, just you and a fork in the road. Do I go for the run or skip it? Do I eat with discipline or give in? Do I honor the promise I made to myself? These are the quiet choices that build or destroy you, not the big ones, the daily, boring, invisible ones. The Stoics called this proheresis, the inner domain of choice, your sacred power, and in those unseen moments, the wise guard it with everything they've got. Because the battle isn't with the world, it's with the lazy, indulgent, cowardly version of yourself that shows up when no one else is watching. And every time the wise person wins that battle, even in silence, they grow, stronger, sharper, more aligned with who they say they are. 4. They refuse to badmouth the absent. When no one's there to fact-check, most people gossip, criticize, drag others through the mud to feel superior. But the wise, they abstain, even in private, especially in private. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That includes how you speak about those who aren't present, because every insult behind someone's back is a leak in your integrity. Wise people know that trust is built in how you speak when it's safe to betray. They stay silent, or speak with fairness, even about those who wronged them. Why? Because if you make a habit of trashing others in secret, don't be surprised when your mind starts poisoning itself. Reputation is external, but character, that's who you are when the room is empty. 5. They stay off stage on purpose. Wise people don't perform for invisible applause. They don't post every workout, every act of kindness, every late night at the office. Not because they're hiding, but because they don't need the approval. Social validation is cheap dopamine, a hit of attention that fades fast and leaves you hollow. The Stoics warned against this. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." Craving applause is a kind of poverty. Wise people train themselves to do good in silence, to resist the itch for recognition, because when you act only for reward, your discipline is fake. So they practice doing hard things without witnesses. They sit in the discomfort of being unrecognized, because they know the real reward is internal, the quiet pride of knowing you did what was right, even if no one ever finds out. 6. They journal the truth, not the highlights. The journal isn't a scrapbook, it's not a highlight reel, it's a battlefield report, a confession booth, a place where lies go to die. Wise people write when no one's watching, not to impress, but to unpack. They ask, what did I do wrong today? Where did fear control me? When did I take the easy way out? Marcus Aurelius journaled relentlessly, to himself. His meditations weren't meant for the world. They were mental training, self-interrogation, philosophy in action. Because when you lie to yourself on paper, you're already lost. So the wise person bleeds truth into the page, not for followers, not for legacy, just to face what's real. The rest of the world lives in image. Wise people live in reflection, private, honest, brutal reflection. That's where transformation begins. 7. They practice letting go. In solitude, wise people detach, not from ambition, not from excellence, but from control, from ego, from outcome. They ask, if this all fell apart, career, health, relationships, would I still have myself? Would I still walk with dignity, or would I collapse into blame and bitterness? The Stoics called it apatheia, freedom from destructive passions, not numbness, clarity, calmness, the ability to stand firm while the world spins out. And that practice starts when you're alone. When your mind obsesses over things you can't change, the wise don't fight it with distraction. They breathe through it. They surrender to what is, because they know everything external is rented, control is borrowed, but self-respect, that's earned. And the way to earn it is by letting go of everything that was never yours to begin with. You want real power? Start when no one's clapping, no spotlight, no audience, just you, in the dark, making choices no one sees, because that's where character is built. That's where wisdom is born. Not in front of crowds, but in the quiet, where excuses die and discipline is king. These 7 habits, they're not trends, they're not hacks, they're ancient, timeless, hard, but they work. And if you start living them today, one at a time, you'll become the kind of person no chaos can shake, no betrayal can break. A fortress in human form. So if you're serious about mastering yourself, subscribe. This channel isn't for hype, it's for truth. And in the description, you'll find tools to help you take the next step. Start today, not for anyone else, but for the man or woman you'll have to live with when the world is silent. That person is watching. Make them proud.